Okay, gonna get started in a minute and have our special guest join. There she is. And we're just waiting for Julie. There she is.
Hi
Hi, guys.
guys,
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm okay. Hanging in there. Uh,
I know.
see you.
You too.
Where are you right now? You're in New York City, right?
I am, yeah. I'm in the Murray Hill neighborhood, hunkered down, social distancing, doing it.
Yeah. Oh, but we're still connected and we're still together. So this is pretty cool.
Exactly. I love that we're able to do this. This is my first Instagram Live experience, so I hope I do it right.
There's no wrong way to do it. You were able to join, so far we're off to an amazing start.
Wonderful.
Just for anybody joining in, kind of give a little bit of a recap as to what this kind of is, aside from Instagram Live. This is sort of a pivot off of a podcast that I have called IRATE, where I get to talk to business owners in the hospitality space, primarily food and beverage, and we go through good ratings and customer review sites, things like that. It's a lot of have some time to kill. You can check that out, binge it, really easy listen, lots of really fun guests. But I wanted to do something a little bit more interactive and have this visual media to be able to connect with other people during these really unprecedented times. And get to talk to people in different industries that are still linked to all of these things, right? So I will allow you to give more of a full introduction, but Julie is the sorry. I was about to say, like, because your website, the last one is so it's like I'm founder of Small Packages, amazing curated packages you can send to anybody you want to wish well, you're thinking of them, and correct me if I'm wrong, but cards, are they still handwritten on the side?
They are. We have held on to that element.
So very, very thoughtful, very, very personalized with that personal touch. So, would you like to elaborate a little bit more about Small Packages, how you started it?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. So the basic idea of the company is, we all love to have connection even before any of this craziness started. Obviously, it was really hard to find time to schedule, a phone call, let alone an in-person visit to be with a person you didn't see a lot. And so we have packages that are sort of, if you can't be there in person, send a small package, right? So we have them tailored for all sorts of specific occasions, whether it's a birthday or a new baby or something not so good, like a breakup or, an illness or something like that. So we have them for kind of all sorts of different reasons that people might want to be together. And obviously, since COVID hit, we've been happily able to fill a little bit more of a need than even we could before. So that's one very small, thin silver lining to this whole crazy situation.
Right, because right now people like myself who had a birthday during this whole quarantine, it's like the milestones don't stop, right? The birthdays keep going, anniversaries, what other things happen? I don't know. Anything else.
Everything still happens.
And if not necessarily a holiday, anniversary, birthday, just to exactly your point, wishing somebody um, well, maybe somebody's having a tough time, an especially tough time. And it's just one of those like thinking of you kind of things, which is very thoughtful. So you have that functionality and to reach people nationwide and send these gifts. But since everything kind of struck and since the world of Corona kind of hit us, what's kind of shifted for you, and what have been maybe some difficult elements to your normal operation?
Yeah, I would say the main thing that we've been dealing with so far is just huge supply chain issues. So, one of the things that I love about the business that's really fun and exciting on our end is we get to serve as a discovery platform for a lot of small businesses, a lot of women owned small businesses, and we're able to feature them in all these different boxes that we have, which is awesome. But when, people are going under shelter in place orders, or they are having issues creating their own stock, et cetera, that throws us into a lot of uncertainty. A lot of orders are coming in, which is wonderful, but we're like, I don't know how we're going to be able to fulfill these when we can't get an accurate handle on how many books are coming in, how many candles are coming in. So we've had to just be really, really sort of nimble and,
Yeah.
like making substitutions, and also, forming new relationships, and also just trying to communicate with our customers as much as possible. Do you want to wait for the thing until we can find the thing that you ordered, or would you like us to make some sort of intelligent substitution? Just kind of opening up that dialogue as much as we can, so nobody is waiting, but nobody's, feeling like they're not getting what they asked for.
Exactly. How do you kind of go about that process? Let's say, uh, um, one vendor that offers, I'm gonna make something up, mittens. I don't know why. Let's say they offer mittens. Those have been in your boxes. That's been a staple item. All of a sudden, for whatever reason, the studio that they were working out of, they had to close, whatever the reason is. Um, so how does that logistically kind of go down for you? You have to have that open line of communication with all of them, right? And
Right.
they say all of a sudden, we're done, like can't do it anymore. You have to be able to kind of, turn on a dime, right? Just search and source for other things. How does that process kind of work for you, and how quickly do you have to move once, orders are coming in and then all of a sudden something comes up?
Yeah. So it's been kind of a multi-part process so far. So in the process of curating these boxes in the first place, it's a little bit of an embarrassment of riches. Like, you have so many companies that you would want to work with. So in some ways it's been a little bit of a blessing. Okay, we can't go with Mitten Company number A, but we loved Mitten Company number, letter B as well. So like, maybe this is an opportunity for us to have some sort of more short-term relationship with them.
Mhm.
So what we've done so far is just like really open the channel of communication to our customers. Like, hey, you're not going to get this thing right away.
Right.
You can wait for it, or you can, go with this substitution that we are making on the fly. Our customers have been remarkably open to that. I think because this is not just something that's affecting my sector, your sector, like literally every person in our country is having this affect them in some way. So they've been remarkably flexible, which is great.
Yeah.
But it has been a lot of just on the fly, conversations with new vendors also. And maybe in some way it's going to be a good thing. Like, we're going to be able to strike up relationships with folks that we might have not reached out to quite as soon. So it's been our MO so far.
Right. And I mean, I think that that's kind of the general theme right now of everything, right? Just being agile and being able to adapt to different situations and being able to kind of pivot what you thought you were doing and the way that you were doing it and your process. All of a sudden, sometimes comes to a screeching halt, or you have a lot of bumps, in the road. And it's just how you kind of adapt to that and then say, all right, this didn't work out. What else can we do? I think that you having really awesome and understanding customers, is a blessing too. People, and I've experienced that as well. Of course, you've got people who have their own, things going on, not you that they're taking it out on. It's never you. It's an underlying issue, and we're all, stress and going through hard times right now. I
Yeah.
think that overall, especially when it comes to, and I'd love to ask you this too, since your business is about shipping products,
Yeah.
and a lot of the uh, different postal systems have been kind of overloaded and things are delayed or getting lost and things like that. And it is still incredible when people do reach out and they're like, I haven't gotten my package yet, but they're not furious about it, very understanding. And then a lot of them, and it's so sweet and so kind, and I should start just screenshotting like the parts where they say this, not including the name you want, but where they say like, thank you so much, hope you're safe and well. Like,
Yeah.
gosh, like that's so nice because nobody has to say that, but it's very kind. So have you run into any issues with any of your postal providers?
How long do you have?
I mean, we have a little bit of time. I mean,
I'm kidding.
we won't go off on an entire rant on it, but
Sure.
I mean, it gives a little bit of transparency too to anybody who's tuning in, tuning out, and then this will be available on stories for 24 hours afterwards, and then I'll throw it up on YouTube so people can see this at any time. So to allow a little bit of transparency and just kind of like that human connection and what it really is like for the small business owner on the other side, go ahead. Like what that like,
No, it's been real. So we ship all of our boxes USPS priority mail because that has just kind of worked out the best for us in terms of, speed and cost.
Yeah.
And I mean, as much as people like to joke around about the Postal Service, like they're usually pretty reliable and pretty fantastic. And like we have been able to, for example, like Mother's Day is a really topical example that's happening right now.
Yes.
And so we've been in business for about 1.5 years, which means we've had about 6 like date specific holidays, like Valentine's Day or Thanksgiving or something like that, where we're purposely accepting pre-orders and then sending everything out like on a given day so that it arrives like pretty much right before the holiday, so that people aren't like trying to titrate their orders. And every other holiday, it's gone absolutely perfectly. I built in some extra time this time just because I knew that USPS was having some delays.
Yeah.
And even still, now it's looking like we're going to have some delays and people are going to be getting their packages like the day after Mother's Day. And, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where you have to, like you were saying, be a little bit vulnerable and just let people know what's going on. Like, we did everything that we possibly could. If you're still upset, I get that. I'm upset for you.
Right.
And, like it becomes a conversation where you're able to be like, all right, like this is feedback for everybody. This is a learning experience for everybody. There's not that much we can do about it. It's like a little Zen lesson in some way.
I think what's interesting is always that little peek behind the curtain when it comes to shipping. I think a lot of times people have the perception, because in this day and age, the gorilla in the room is Amazon, and so they think, well, why do you charge for shipping, and why doesn't it come the next day always? And like, it's bringing that human quality to it that these are small businesses and these are curated by humans and packed and shipped by humans, and everybody gets to see when their package is on the way. And so at least you're covered. It says, when in good faith, this is when I wanted you to have it. But definitely once it's out of your hands to the different courier services, and who knows, right? I mean, unfortunately, it's so sad, but unfortunately, I've received a few messages, and again, kind messages, not like furious. So that's like, if anybody's watching who is, a customer of Julie's or mine, thank you first of all. But also, just when it comes to the whole shipping process, I get anxiety when somebody contacts and says that they didn't get their package yet, because I make sure to get everything together, get it, rolling out in a short amount of time, because I know that people want their things, especially if they're sending them for, like you said, Mother's Day, birthdays, and things like that, more time sensitive things. You can never guarantee 100% a delivery date, but you do everything that you can to get it out there. And so when you get a notice of like, still haven't gotten it yet, I'm like, oh no, this is like terrible news.
It
And
is.
and there's nobody to like talk to for
Right.
USPS. So here's a note for everybody. Your tracking is only information we have and will ever have. There's nobody to talk to. You can call, you'll be on hold for like an hour, and then maybe talk to somebody, and then they'll tell you the shipping tracking information is all we have to do.
Yep.
It's you like you throw your hands up and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to deal with you, the customer now, and let's figure out a great solution to make everybody happy. Are people pretty understanding? When things happen on your end?
They are, and that's one of the things that I've also been sort of, trying to figure out as a small business owner. Like, we have only been in business for about a year and a half. We haven't raised any kind of institutional capital or anything like that. And so, our margins are pretty slim. And when it comes to like shipping and sort of like you were saying, the Amazon mindset that everybody kind of lives in now, I order from Amazon too. I mean, I'm not immune to it.
Right.
But, people are like, why are you charging for shipping? We lose money shipping wise on every package that we send.
Yeah.
And so, but we know there's like only a certain amount that a customer like really is going to be comfortable paying for it. So that's just all part of the calculus. But when packages don't get there because they get stolen or they fall off the back of a truck or something like that, it really does become a situation where, you have to make a decision. Like, are we gonna cut into our like pretty slim bottom line in order to retain a customer that we respect? Can we do that? So it kind of is a pretty complicated decision.
Yeah. And it's to the discretion of each business and their policies and things like that. It's funny because I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine who has a small business as well, and they were getting harassed by a customer that their tracking said it was delivered, but the customer was claiming that they never got it, and then and that's happened to me where I've gotten
Sure.
because it's delivered, and then you can see like somebody signed for it, and you're like, who the hell's that? Like, that's not me.
Right.
Anybody that I know. I don't know that person, and
Right.
I don't know where they are that they signed to even like go after them. So I do know that that's like a thing. But the email was getting really murky and bizarre to the effect that it was like, I think that you got it, and because they were asking for like a refund, and
Right.
was saying, it's their policy. Like, unfortunately, a refund once the package is delivered, but I can accept the product to you, or I can offer you a credit. And they were not having it, and they wanted the refund. But she was like, I think that they're like cyber stealing, like, and so I don't know. So shipping, yeah, it gets tricky, and we get kind of caught in the middle of that, unfortunately, and just kind of have to just be the best customer service agents that we can.
Yeah.
The day it's a more intimate connection, right, with your customers versus some big behemoth, because these are people that we really value. They are helping support a small business. They're keeping bills paid, so everybody is so valued, and I think that's why we get really uptight too when we see that things are delayed or lost or going crazy, because we care a lot, right?
Of course. Yeah. And especially, I mean, I think this is definitely true for your business. Like, that when you send the marshmallows out, like, they're bringing people real joy and they're excited to get them. Like, we know that ours are going off to help somebody celebrate like a birthday or some other like occasion that they can't be there for. So like, it's not like when a pair of pants doesn't get there on time. You know what I'm saying? You're like,
Especially
like these pants.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They want that special moment
Right.
to arrive. 100%.
Exactly. So that's kind of something that is really top of mind for us. And as we grow, being able to like get next day shipping, being able to get the shipping fees lower, like, all of those things are in our roadmap as a business. But as you're just growing and trying to be scrappy, you're kind of like holding things together with duct tape, as any small business owner will tell you.
Exactly. And you really truly learn as you go. I mean, it's a lot of it's a lot of trial and error. You know, I started, gosh, a little over 6 years ago at this point, and you learn a lot along the way. Every single thing and every new thing you implement and every new service or product you provide, you're learning something. You're getting certain feedback. You're seeing what works. You're seeing what doesn't, and then you learn, oh, this kind of happened. I don't want this to happen again. I need to put this in my policies and link it back in my website, so it gives people like something to reference to, kind of covers me.
Right.
So it's completely the entire process of owning a small business is all learning for sure. It's like the university of the streets, right? It's the best education, honestly. Where do you kind of see, um, you know, retail and e-commerce? How do you kind of see that? You know, I guess either progressing or expanding. Do you have kind of like you know, your ear to the ground, and or is it really just kind of living day to day and forecasting as best as you can? What do you kind of see as like the future of all of this?
Gosh, I think it's so hard to predict. I would say if I were, you know, sort of betting on things, I would be looking at industries where, you know, people are able to magnify and make better their experiences at home. I think it's probably, even though things will slowly reopen depending on where you are in the country, it's probably going to be like a solid year before, you know, things are quote unquote back to normal, whatever that's going to look like.
Right.
And I also think that shipping is going to be a thing that's really, really going to affect us, right? Like how many of us have been searching on Amazon for dumbbells now that we're working out at home, right?
Yeah.
Can't get them anywhere in the country. Believe me, I've tried. But I think, you know, people, which may just lead to like a little bit more of a barter economy for things that, you know, are a little bit harder to come by.
Oregon Trail or something. You remember?
Hopefully minus the cholera aspect of it, that would be good. But
And your cart tipping over and losing off, minus all of that. But who knows? Honestly, things are becoming the Wild West. So,
oh my gosh,
who's to say? But yeah, let's hope not for that exactly. But yeah, I mean, I do think that businesses that have facilitation of selling their products and goods online are in a really good position right now.
yeah.
I think that businesses that haven't yet are kind of maybe thinking of how they can offer certain things online, whether that's shipped or just online in general. I have another friend who has been doing like digital downloads for artwork and things like that you can print out and
Yeah.
color at home and things like that. So it's really kind of a time to be creative too, right? Because just to your point, it's you know, it's a new normal where a lot of, you know, home time is now how people are spending it and have to spend it. So it's becoming creative, and what can we do aside from like baking a million bread or like, you know, whatever. What else can we do, and how can we, you know, make things interesting?
Yeah.
Um, one thing that I've asked a few people that I'm just curious, it has really nothing to do with any of this,
Yeah.
except for, you know, the pandemic at large. What I don't know what your personal experience has been like. You can tell me when it comes to grocery shopping now, but I am curious what you think grocery shopping is going to be like when things start to kind of, you know, I hate saying return more normal, but like when the stay-at-home order kind of starts to lift.
Yeah. Well, my personal experience has actually been, and for any New Yorkers who are watching this or looking at it later, I'll shout out to Wealth Cafe in Jersey City. That's where I've been getting like a meal delivery situation from them
Oh,
weekly. They're they're just a cafe in Jersey City. The guy who owns it, David Trotta, is amazing. And they not only send out like just weekly meal deliveries of like all sorts of like ready-made food that you can like mix and match, but they also are donating a ton of meals to folks in need. Um, and so that's kind of been my go-to, is instead of sort of braving the store and like trying to cook while we're like balancing all of these other things in life, is sort of, you know, let the people who are fantastic at it do what they're good at. I'll pay for it. You know,
Right.
we can sort of, you know, to each according to his ability. So that's what I've been doing, and kind of what I see for what I foresee doing for, you know, the next little bit.
Well, and it's awesome too because you're supporting another small business, right? So
Exactly.
it kind of comes full circle. Just because I love food, what are some of the most delicious offerings that they've had? They've sent.
Oh, they are amazing. He makes this ramp pesto. You know, like pesto is normally basil or whatever. That it comes in a container that's like this big, and it lasts maybe a day. It's like not like I'm just like I could eat it with a spoon. It's amazing, and also like a lot of heartier like soups, like everything. I think you can get like a gluten-free or a vegetarian plan or something, but everything's just like crazy healthy, super high quality. All of the produce and meat comes from a farm upstate.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
like real local and everything too. Cannot recommend them highly enough. They're amazing.
So one more time, what is the?
It's Wealth Cafe, but health with a W on the front of it. Like your health is your wealth.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Brilliant. Okay, great. Nice little shout out to them. And so you said they're in Jersey City, you're in Manhattan, so
Yeah.
they don't ship it, right?
They deliver. They deliver all over Jersey City, all over Manhattan, I think to Brooklyn also. So if you're anywhere in the New York City area, they are like
Wow.
the best choice.
We just gave them a full commercial. This is
That's true.
well, Cafe, you're welcome. Okay, so amazing. Yeah, so I have not been lucky enough to order from them, but guess what? I'm gonna check out after this. So yeah, for me, I've been doing the standard grocery shop, which is kind of a jarring experience, really. I can't speak because I don't know what it's like in other cities. All I can kind of talk about is what the experience is like in New York City, and it's depending on the grocer, it's waiting outside in a line, 6 feet apart. Depends on what time of day you're there and whatnot. And now, especially implementing, wearing a mask inside, which you should be doing anyway.
Of course.
And on the street anyway, because it's not just about you, it's about everybody else. That's my PSA, because I've been seeing way too many people. I go to work every day and I walk there and wearing a mask and being conscious of that and respectful toward other people I pass. But it's really astounding to me, and it really kind of breaks my heart a little bit. The amount of people still just aren't even trying, and it makes me kind of wonder why. I don't want to pass judgments on anybody, and I don't want to break off into a whole subtopic,
Yeah.
but just my little moment of a PSA, like if you are in the city, where it's such a densely populated area, please just wear them, because there are so many people out there who could be very susceptible, and you could be asymptomatic, you could be in incubation phase and have it, sneeze, laugh hard, cough, whatever, and these droplets can go up to 12 feet. It's the 6 is a very liberal distance, but all right. So that's my whole little. So I don't, yes, and so I don't know what grocery shopping is like, because it's kind of stressful now. You have to really plan for it. You have to carve out the time, and it's interesting. So I like the idea that you had of the service that you're using from the cafe. Sounds wonderful. So brilliant. I have one little image that I pop up at the end. Sometimes I get a little bit stressed out because of one episode where after I put it up, Instagram crashed and lost the whole live and everything.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was upsetting, but we hopped back on. We had a really nice little ending of a session. But The one that I did yesterday was fine. It was great. So we're going to do it now, and hope for the best. So let me just bring up this image. There we go. Perfect. So far, so good. Fingers crossed. So again, Julie's company, small packages, and here's how you can help. You know, if you have anybody celebrating anything, a birthday, an anniversary, or you just want to say, hey, miss you, thinking about you, um, uh, the care packages are there. Now you have a new one, is that correct? That you're featuring right
Yeah,
now?
we have a couple new ones actually. We have a cozy at home box that kind of gives people some entertaining and fun things to do while you're in quarantine and you're sheltering at home. And then we also introduced a wedding pause box for any people who have had to cancel or
Oh,
postpone their weddings. If you're feeling for those people and you want to send them something, that's a perfect thing to send.
that's brilliant. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like anybody would be delighted to have something just like so lovely arrive at their door and know that somebody's thinking of them. Uh, who is writing? Are you writing the cards? Do you experience carpal tunnel? Are you okay?
I do a little bit. We have our fulfillment facility in Philadelphia, actually. So
Oh
I
wow,
have a very, very small team on the ground there that's executing and getting things out the door. So we kind of are all doing it together.
amazing.
Yeah.
Better to I love it. And here's the website right here. And then of course you're on this live right now. You can click wherever it is. It's up there, I think. Links to everybody's Instagram. And Julie, thank you. Um,
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. It was great to see you.
Likewise, yes. Yeah, it's my pleasure, and it's a delight to be able to hold these and talk to other small business owners and just hear their experience, and that's kind of therapeutic, right? So it's just nice to know that we're all kind of in a community, and have each other to kind of reach out to and check in with, and I think it's nice. So I'm glad we could do this.
Me
Um,
too. Thanks for having me, Catherine.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Stay safe, stay well. Check out small packages. We'll see you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.